What's going on, folks?
Hey,
This is Daddy Brigade Podcast. I am Zach the Tactical Gnome.
JP,
We
the
got
armored chef.
JP the Armored Chef. I still like that.
Yeah,
And
that's good.
tonight we have another guest of ours, Battle Daddy Tactical. And we are going to discuss the ATF brace bullshit, the Black Rifle Coffee fallout, and my whole opinion on that and some other stuff. And probably get into a little bit more about the deer season since it is upon us within a couple days in Pennsylvania, 2 days away in PA, and the Monday after Thanksgiving in Ohio. So it is about that time to go out and slay us some deer jerky. So without a further ado, let's get into this. So bringing on Battle Daddy Tactical, give us a quick explanation about yourself, who you are, what you do, and then we'll get into the hot topics.
My name's Steven. I kind of put the page together to bring informative, the historical informative parts of the gun and firearm culture out to the world. And that kind of took a side seat. Now it's just memes and just general crap. I've been shooting for quite a few years, and I don't know. I'm just your average guy that loves guns.
Pretty much like all of us. And you've been kind of following my personal my Tactical Gnome page since I started it.
Yeah,
And so I really appreciate that. You've pretty much liked every damn thing I've posted ever.
And also, just thank you for coming on, obviously.
Yeah, and thank you for coming on. Like, you know, if you like doing this, we'll have you on like all the time if you want. Like, I don't care. Like, this is what I've been wanting to do, is have people come on, us just sit and bullshit and, you know, explain how we feel about stuff and talk about guns and gear and stuff like that, and then, you know,
And at
send
some
it out
point,
to the masses.
And at some point, I usually kind of break up all the normal adult stuff with, about booze. So,
I'm down for all of it.
This episode, by the way, it is a Manhattan, pretty standard issue. Although I did,
in those freaking Manhattans, man.
I went the next level. I actually spent a little too much money ordering on Amazon to actually get the good Italian, actual, legit Luxardo Maraschino cherries now. Not because, by the way, folks, in your fucking drinks, those neon red things from the fucking that you would see at an ice cream shop, that is not a maraschino cherry. Those are bad. Don't use those. That's gross. That's not a good drink.
But they are really good if you take 2 of those and put them in the bottom of Sam Adams cherry wheat. Only on tap, not bottle.
And you know what would be even better than that? If he used fucking Luxardo cherries. Just saying.
Well, I'm sorry. Most cheap-ass bars don't have Luxardo cherries floating around.
It's fucking
Anyway,
hey.
So, one other thing I meant to mention on the last episode that I didn't because we got into the books. So, I've been wearing my new boots.
Yes,
Ultima boots
and my how they've been working
Ultima
out.
low tide shoes.
You've been doing the boots at work, right?
Yes, the boots are my work boots. The boots are comfortable as hell. Zero, in my opinion, zero break-in. I wore them for a little bit around the house the day before I wore them to work. Comfortable as hell. Great working boots. Lightweight. The shoes are awesome. The Maritime low tides, they are awesome. They're just, I can't describe why they're so awesome. They're just freaking awesome. They're lightweight. They're comfortable. You can wear them with or without socks. They have the eyelets to let water out. They're just damn comfortable. Like I said, they're the Chuck Taylors for adults, or the operator Chuck Taylor, depending on how you want to look at it. But they are comfortable as hell. Great boots. I'm going to do some more reviews on them once I wear them a little bit longer. See how they wear. See if I can break them. Probably not, but they're comfortable. So let's get into the big thing that is on a lot of people's mind, because when I woke up at 2 a.m. this morning for some random ass reason, which I do every night, my Facebook feed was full, absolutely full of stuff. A lot of them were articles from AmmoLand on the ATF and the SB tactical braces.
You know, it was wild with that too. I could not find a single as soon as I saw those, I tried to pull up the links and it kept saying page not found. Like all the stuff on Ammo Land was gone.
I don't know what's going on. I think Facebook is really trying to censor shit.
This was on Ammo Land's own page. It said page not found. That was the wild part. Like it was literally given a 404 error.
I read the article about an hour ago again, just to make sure.
Maybe they fixed it. This was this morning at some point, like in the early AM, maybe late PM.
Yeah. So since Steven is not real familiar with doing the whole podcast thing, I'm going to let him kind of say what he knows and what he's seen about it, and then the Armored Chef will kind of jump in and say what we've seen and see what we can figure out here.
So go ahead and fire away there.
You got the floor, sir.
So I've kind of seen basically everything, or basically what everybody else has seen. The AMOLAND articles, ATF not coming forward with anything like they do because they're the ATF and they just don't care. Just throwing out more arbitrary laws and just being the ATF, saying only 2 braces are approved to be used. Everything else is constituting is constituted making pistols as SBRs. Just a bunch of shit.
Because I couldn't look those up earlier, do we know what 2 models are okay? I'm assuming the SB1.
The SB1.
And I think it was the SIG MCX or something.
Yeah, the SIG MCX brace. Other than that, there's 23 models that the ATF is saying that are not allowed.
So like the SB3s, the 4s, like all like the most common ones all over the fucking country
are technically not allowed. And they said the reason, you can tell I messed up my hand at one point in time. The reason that they're not allowed is because the one thing that I did read was because they resemble actual stocks. Now, whether that's a true statement or not, that's what I have read that the ATF said.
I might be able to say that about the 4, but the 3 definitely not. And honestly, the majority of braces, I cannot say they look like stocks.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand the bullshit behind it. All I know is it's friggin' bullshit. So, are they going to ban them? I don't know.
If King Biden gets in, probably.
Yeah, well, that's a whole nother topic and a whole nother episode in its own damn length if Biden gets in and shit.
Well, I mean, it seems like it's happening now, but
yeah, well, I don't even. Yeah. I try to stay away from politics.
I know,
but
answer.
Yeah, well, and it. I mean, for Christ's sake, look what happened to Fox News. Fuck it, we'll dive into it. Look what happened to Fox News. Fox News actually used to be pretty right leaning.
Well, now it's funny when they started. If anything, that they were actually really kind of, they legit were fair and balanced at first for a split second. Then they had a clear right bias, but they were probably still like the most even kilter at everything. They would literally because they would literally have like someone from the right, someone from the left, legit fucking discuss something, so to speak. Which, granted, I will say, folks, as far as right and left in this country, as far as what that pertains to, when you try to put it to historic context, is BS. Because, like, to say the right wing, like the modern now, has anything to do with, like, say, like when people want to, like with like right wing meant, like, say in the 30s, it doesn't. Because the people we're talking about, the right wing of a communist is kind of like, it's like the white part of black. Or the it's the dark part of the fresh snow. I don't know how else to like it doesn't line up with what modern values structures would probably follow to most people. And
no, because if
anything like that type of right wing like
are the new Republicans, and the new Republicans are the old. Did I say?
I don't even think that's accurate either, though. Because like if you look at like Democrats now follow very much that authoritarian type of left wing concept, which to me would be old school right wing. Like that's what you want to talk about, like Nazism and all that stuff. That to me is like the best way to describe like the people that are like authoritarian left. Like that's exactly how they act. I mean, they want to control people. They want to. I mean, it's a crazy topsy turvy. Like literally, like language gets constantly bastardized, even just to try to make definitions fit what they. It's like literally like they'll break every rule, because the point is like literally we'll even change what this word means so that we can make it fit what we want it to mean, because then it works for us. Like it's
yeah, pretty much.
If you track all those words, eventually it actually made sense.
Yeah. Now, Steven, you have one of the braces, right?
I have 2 of the SBA 3s.
So you have an SBA 3. John, you've got...
I have an SBA 1 for sure. I may or may not have other things.
Well, whatever. And I have none yet. Am I going to buy some? Sure.
If you get them in time. Here's the sad part to me is honestly where I'm... Just because of where I'm seeing the new political climate head, I actually am thinking about just Form 1ing my fucking pistol.
Same.
Because I mean, at that point, just steer into the skid, give up the $200, and then at least then I can kindly look the people that come for my gun and say, "Eat a dick." Here's my $200 piece of paper, just like I have for my can. Anyway. I get it, but this way I can say I have legal standing of see this paper. Here, wait. Ready?
Yeah.
Thou shalt ingest a satchel of Richards.
Yes. Oh yeah, we've got a whole entire board for all of this. So here's my big
even though the
thing.
one we use the most is a sample of me just saying shit in a funny voice, but
yes. So the thing that I've come to is okay. So I forget where I seen the article and the numbers, but it basically said how many firearms that are in the United States, like AR and AK type rifles,
modern sporting rifles.
No, it actually had it labeled as AK and AR type rifles.
That's more or less, but those two make up most of the modern sporting rifles.
And then it said how many 30-plus round magazines there were out there. And then it said how many pistol braces, AR pistols with pistol braces were out there.
That's in the millions easily, just on its own.
Oh, yeah. No, like it was in like the 20, 30 million.
Like 4 million.
Yeah, that's...
Just
I
pistol
think
braces alone.
Yeah. So basically what the ATF wants to do, to sum it up for all of my non-technical gun friends or people that haven't heard, they basically want to make a bunch of civilians criminals overnight. And I ran into an old timer the other day at the airport, and I was talking to him about it, and he said at that point in time, he said, if they're going to make those illegal, and I'm going to be a felon for it. He says, that old saying, in for a penny, in for a pound. He says, I might as well slap a stock on it and put a homemade suppressor on it and go to jail for the same amount of damn time that I'm going to go to jail for a damn pistol brace. He said, because I'm still going to do time either way.
I mean, it's a sad way to kind of have to look at things, but I mean, the other side of this is, and this is actually something I was contemplating. I was talking to a friend about is, at what point do they like could a group have a legitimate argument for treason against lawmakers?
Well, see, and here's the fun part. So the ATF is a law enforcement group, correct?
Right? I mean, they are a division of a law enforcement group.
Yes, but they're federal law enforcement. We all three agree on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, when has law enforcement been allowed to ever make a law?
They're not.
They're not.
That is why you'd have multiple counts technically. You could, like I said, if you want, I mean, and again, I'm not a lawyer or anything, but like it'd be an interesting thing to actually go to where they're literally going so far against circumventing the Constitution and the way laws are supposed to exist and the way everything else happens, to where when does it finally actually account for treason? Where we like literally like, hey, you know what? At this point, you guys went so far that like, legit the punishment should be like hanging motherfuckers. Not that we do that anymore.
Like we're there.
Oh, we've been there.
Yeah, but I mean to where you actually have like a smart you have like lawyers going and literally presenting a legal case for not like,
and that's that's finally started to happen.
And I think part of the problem is you probably need like attorney. You probably need like AGs from different and again, I'm not sure exactly how
Probably.
the legal side of this would have to work, but at what point do you go from, no, we're arguing for the Supreme Court to say that law shouldn't exist, to no, fuck that, like you were blatantly violating and circumventing the Constitution, that was fucking treason, and we're pressing charges. Like we're not suing you to go against the law, we're pressing fucking charges. That's what I want to know when that, like where do you tip that at?
And I read a meme, and Steven, I don't know if you posted it, but I read a meme the other day, and it says, if it had Batman and Robin, and it had Robin getting smacked, and it was gonna say, I lost them in a boating accident, and it's like, if you lost them in a boating accident, it's time to be using them.
I did post that.
Well, I mean there's that old saying is, if you think it's time to bury your rifles, it means it's time to dig them up. I mean that's.
Yeah, and one of I think Jared commented on the page there that the worst part is they want to leave individual judgment up to individual agents, judge, jury, executioner. And I've met some cool ATF agents, and most of the regular agents that we as people will deal with. So us,
I
will
mean,
deal
just
with.
anyone that I know involved, like inspectors and things.
They
Yeah,
agree that it's bullshit.
I mean,
the guys that are making these. And the one guy I talked to, he says the guys that are making these laws and these determinations on braces and shit, they don't. He says they have never had a gun. They've never shot a gun. They only know what they're being told by the higher ups.
They are purely, completely uneducated bureaucrats thrown into a position they have no position holding. And the bigger problem, though, is the fact that their office doesn't have the legal teeth to actually have the power that it wields. That's the bigger problem there, though, is that there isn't a legal basis for them to have that power. But the worst part, though, like you're saying, is you have these people, like literally people that don't know what they're talking about. Like it's funny, so like almost anytime I've ever had a quote unquote debate with anyone about firearms and laws and rules and what should or should not be had, it's almost exclusively people that have no clue what they're talking about. And I'm not saying that to bash them. It's literally like I calm discussions and talk to them and ask them questions, and I realize like I just feel like you were just so like they're misguided. Like it's like they're not just wrong. Like they don't even understand why they're wrong, because they don't understand what they're talking about. And it's a lot of times good people with good intentions that they hear things that are said by people that are either intentionally wrong, whether it's a malicious thing, or if they are just also, because I see like these high levels of people that are just grossly misinformed. And it's like the old the old saying that the truth is just, or how is that word? Lies are just facts that haven't been repeated enough yet.
Yeah.
Because I think
it's the other way around.
No. Lies are just facts that haven't been repeated enough yet. Because, like, say you get like the media will say the same thing about assault weapons so many times to where like all of a sudden, oh yeah, that's an assault weapon. Like, because you don't understand what an assault weapon is, and because you have media spending years. It's a verb, first off.
Process that's carried out.
Yeah.
Anything can be an assault weapon. I can hit you with this freaking pill bottle, and it's an assault weapon.
Don't you remember George W. with the shoe? I mean, assault shoe. You know what I mean? When he got the shoe thrown at him.
Can we label the assault popcorn or the assault peanut that he choked on the Air Force One? Or no, that was an assault pretzel.
Well, that wasn't someone else doing it to him, though. That was him doing it to himself. That was almost a suicide pretzel.
True.
No, I'm talking about whenever he was like in the Middle East somewhere, and someone threw a shoe at him in a press conference.
I remember that. I remember that well.
I will say it's probably an all-time low point. Well, not all time. I mean, Lincoln and a few others, but as far as for the Secret Service there, that wasn't a great shining mark when he got hit with a shoe.
Yeah. So we have the ATF doing stupid shit, and they've been doing stupid shit for years. So we're all going to keep an eye on that. So let's move over to the new gripe and stuff that I've been seeing prior to the ATF doing their shit last night, which is the Black Rifle Coffee, Kyle Rittenhouse fallout. And oh my God, I think it's every week that the gun community as a whole, and I know I'm probably going to lose some friends for this, and if I do, whatever. But it seems like the gun community as a whole, every week we got to find something to bitch about.
I would agree.
Yeah, that's kind of the norm now.
And I'm not saying that in a bad way, but this week it was Black Rifle asking Blaze to pull the ad or the discount code that was for Kyle Rittenhouse, and people were all up in arms about Black Rifle Coffee Company. Now, do I think that when they came out and said, hey, let's get some things straight, they should have worded it differently? Yeah. I think Evan might have just wanted to get out and say, hey, look, this is what it is. I think if somebody had given him time, maybe to adjust what his thoughts were.
I think part of this,
Evan would have.
Well, here's what I think. Honestly, the bigger issue there is before a company goes and attaches your name to something that's politicized like that, there should have been some communication ahead of time. Like, hey, do you guys want this to be associated?
Yeah.
And I think that's the bigger problem.
I think it was just an overstep.
Yeah,
now,
they overstepped, and he probably he might have overreacted. Whether he did or not, honestly, he's neither here nor there. He didn't get a chance to process the information before he reacted because it was out there first, and then he had to react about his company.
Then he asked them to pull it, and then everybody's up in arms. And
did he even get a chance to even discuss? Oh, again, that's why it should have been a discussion before it was ever public.
The best thing I've seen is so many people are like, yeah, I don't want their cheap mail order folders. Now, I drink Black Rifle. I like Black Rifle. Is it going to change my opinion on Black Rifle? No.
I've had it whenever actually you know, it's funny that the one time I've literally had Black Rifle twice ever, and it was while I was in Tennessee in the team room.
Black Rifle. Now, do I think, like I said, if he came out and said, look, yeah, this is why we did this. Do we want to tie our name to political stuff and everything like we did, like they did? No.
I mean, to be fair, that as a company, they've always been a little political as far as and usually in jest, though, it was kind of more in parody with obviously they have a lot of silly ads and the things they run on YouTube.
But if he came out and said, look, but we believe in the Second Amendment, we believe the right to defend ourselves, and we believe what he did was self-defense. I don't think he even has to go that far. I don't think he even has to necessarily qualify whether that was or not. So, I mean, if you saw all the video, it was self-defense. I mean, it was a total shitty situation the kid was in regardless. Now, I mean, there is the flip side of go stupid places during stupid time. I mean, there is that. And I will say that that's something me as a father, you're not going to catch me in those areas because I need to make sure I'm home for my fucking kid, for my wife, for all that stuff. That has nothing to do with what this kid he was doing at that time what he thought was right for friends or I know literally like everyone said, oh, he went across state lines. He was in the town where he worked. So I mean that was a separate thing. And I don't want to bring up the whole past.
Yeah, I don't want to get in on the whole thing, but
it was a shit show. And now it's still, months later, kind of a shit show because of the fallout. And people were like, oh, well, Black Rifle Coffee and da-da-da-da-da. And so here's where I was getting with that. So this week, everybody's mad at Black Rifle Coffee. 2 weeks ago, everybody was mad at Chills. Months ago, everybody was mad at, I forget. Oh, the whole Trigicon or Hollow Sun, that bullshit with the optics.
I think I missed that one, actually. What was that?
You know what I'm talking about, Steven?
Vaguely.
Where somebody copied the optics and they went to court and were suing people. And
wait, like Trigicon was
Trigicon was. Was it Trigicon?
Yeah, I think it was Trigicon. The Hollow Sun made something similar. Copy.
Yeah, it was Trigicon and Hollow Sun. There was a whole bunch of bullshit.
See, I can't even think what products they have in order to be crossover there. Like,
it was something with the footprint of the RMR and something else, and there was a whole bunch of.
You mean because they were using the same footprint like everyone does to make a standardized mounting plate?
I don't know. All I know is there was bullshit with that. And then before that, there was...
That's a shame for Trijicon if they actually went that low, is to attack people for trying to standardize a mounting plate for optics, was more or less what that would be. But
go back, last year? People were mad at fucking Benchmade. Benchmade knives. The gun community was in an uproar over Benchmade knives. Why? Because Benchmade loaned the local police department their cutoff tools, and they cut up a bunch of confiscated guns in the shop. Holy shit. Everybody was mad at Benchmade. Everybody's like, fuck Benchmade, I'm not buying Benchmade.
Just because they cut up guns doesn't mean, if they're confiscated guns...
They're not anti-gun.
Yeah,
they just used to let the police work. Now, again, that whole verdict was still out, and I never did hear the final end to it, but Benchmade took a shitload of backlash, just like freaking Black Rifle Coffee is. Just like all the shills, that list of shills from that one company, you look at that whole list of shills. And I had this conversation with Opie and the Smokies and a couple other people, and I said, is it just me, or is this kind of a dumb fucking hill to die on here? Like, the list of people on that list, there's Garand Thumb and, Collion Noir and Tim Kennedy. And, we know some of those guys are getting paid by that company to say, hey, this is good shit. We know that. Who the hell cares?
To be fair, you know my actual trusted list of people I give a crap as far as their opinions about in the industry is very small.
Well, and two of those people on that list were listed on that list,
which shows you ridiculous, like how far that went. Where a lot of because we'll at least say one of those people unequivocally.
They put John Lovell on that list, and it's like, well, no shit. Well, he has something with Sportsman's Guide, if I'm right.
Yeah, he starts his fucking videos with a commercial for them. Like that's not like a shill someone that pretends like they're doing an honest, even killed a review of something, and they're giving it a good marks simply because of money, which is that's the opposite of what Lovell does. Lovell's like literally like, hey, I'm endorsed by these guys. Here's a fucking discount code. Move on with your life.
But that's what they're calling all these, and I'm like, so. It just blows my mind.
Although I will say that I just my own personal note is that Lovell does kind of speak highly of Olight, which is not a company that I'm a big fan of anymore. I love their old stuff. Their new stuff seems to be junk, and I'm bummed out. So just there's that.
So the one thing that
bothers me about all of this in general is it just seems like the Second Amendment community is we're eating ourselves.
That's the thing. That's one thing that's bumming me out is now. Well, like outrage culture has now seeped into like what used to be like the quote unquote rational people. The left has always been good at eating themselves. As far as you want to get the people that are always basically being up in arms is a fucking hobby for them, but now it's seeping in because, and I think as part of that's the overproliferation. I can't speak tonight. Just as far as the internet culture,
be able to talk.
I think is Well, I'll go make another one. That's what the problem is. I have nothing but cherries in the glass. Is the gorgeous deep red cherries.
If you want to make another one, me and Stephen will have to continue this conversation. So that's exactly what I was going to say was the 2A community is there's so much infighting, and it's not just about this. It's about, the dumbest shit. 45 HCP, 1911, 2 World Wars, the FUDs, the poors, the elitists. It's like, dude, can't we all just get along and not give a shit what other, and just take it to the people that are against us? Yeah,
exactly. In the current climate, there's no reason for us to be fighting so much amongst each other. We need to be taking it to the people that are causing these issues in general that can directly affect our lives, that could destroy our livelihood.
Yeah, I should not have to get into a debate over AK. It's fun once in a while to go and debate AK versus AR or Glock versus SIG, or
it's fun to have an educated conversation about that stuff,
but sometimes people get upset, and I have seen more people
angry.
So angry. And one of the guys that I'm friends with, I won't mention his name, but he's been on primary and secondary a couple times, and he is known as the internet shit starter. And it is funny as hell when he gets somebody riled up and they go off, and it's like, "Oh, you don't know shit." Da 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 da. And I literally, the one time I commented, the only time, and I went, "You obviously don't know who this is." And he's like, "Well, he's a fucking FUD." And I'm like, and I just stopped. I didn't even comment another word, and I was like, "What? I'm gonna let you deal with that one, bud. Like, just you go ahead and deal with that." And this guy is a AK builder. He's been around the industry. He's been around the industry in different aspects of time, from several different companies, starting companies, to what he does now. And he's a good dude, and I like him, and I think but he's you have to understand, like, I would say he's an acquired taste. Because if you look at his group of friends, who I'm also friends with some of them guys, again, they're acquired tastes, such as Matt Linfair, such as, Mike Green, and the guys from Green Ops, and the guys from Sons of Liberty, and the guys from Knights Armament. Again, those guys are a acquired taste for some people because they'll just put it to you straight, and if you don't like it, tough shit. And that's why I like Mike from Sons of Liberty, because
He don't give a
he'll
shit.
tell you he will tell you straight, and if you don't like it, there you go, man. Bye. That's kind of like, that was one of the big reasons why I always liked John from SOE, is because
Well, I was actually, when you say that,
didn't
like
listen
first
to what
person
was
I thought of
said.
was Jaeger, because he'll look at.
Yeah.
I mean,
Here's another one.
yeah, Jaeger's one of those people that he'll fire a fucking student. Like he'll be like, look, like you don't like here, like apparently I don't want your money. Like go, like if you like someone that, and I think that's been a very rare thing for him to go that far. I will say.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like as far as like one of the people that like truly cares about his students and wants them to, like, he tries to do the best possible, for the long haul, legit, for his students. But when you have someone like he's had like a few people like where like as far as his internet presence, he will tell you to fuck off if he thinks you should fuck off.
Yeah. Well, that's like, I don't know, Steven, if you know about the old days with SOE.
Oh, the old videos especially.
No, I don't think so.
So SOE, they used to, like, he'd go in and somebody'd email him. SOE's all handmade stuff. If you don't know who SOE is, definitely go check them out. They're awesome guys.
The best handmade American Cordura nylon stuff.
How much stuff do I have from them now?
Still not as much as me, but you're working on it.
No, you have like a credit line with them or something.
My wife might listen to this.
But I finally got a micro rig from them. I absolutely love it. I own 3 or 4 of their belts. I've got all kind of stuff from them. I love it.
I have another belt on order, which actually for some reason I literally, I will say this, I'm actually almost shocked. And like, if it wasn't John, like, and I haven't like had like a personal like speaking with him a few times, like I would have probably emailed about it, because I'm surprised with no code or anything. It's been actually like, I'm surprised it's been like a month and I haven't gotten this new belt I ordered. Because normally.
Normally the belts are reasonably quick unless it's some custom off the wall.
Or if you use a fucking coupon code, because usually, and obviously, here's the thing with most stuff you order from this company: if you're waiting on it and you use the coupon code and it came with free shit, you're probably waiting for the free shit.
Yeah, that is the one thing I will say.
Because they handle the orders first that are just orders, and then they go, and they make all the actual gear that's ordered first, and then when they get time, when they have a little extra time, they'll work on the free shit, and then they'll ship your stuff out. So if you're in a hurry, you don't do that. You just fucking order your thing.
So the one thing that they used to do when it came to coupon codes is everything would be no ETA, or, we'll make it when we get enough orders for them. So I waited for my first.
Hold on. To be fair, most of the original coupon codes were shitty customers' names.
Hold on, I'm getting to that.
Okay.
Don't jump ahead of me.
All right.
So the first belt I ever ordered from them took 6 weeks.
Which still isn't bad.
Well, in the meantime, I started watching some of the videos, and people would email and be like, "Hey, da 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 da, I placed this order." He'd say, "Okay, it's only been like a week." They go back and they'd get salty and shitty with John, and John goes, "Okay, you know what? Order canceled. Refund your money. I'm using your name to make a discount code," because they'd get shitty with him, and they would still blow up. Well, he'd turn around and take their name and make a discount code out of it, and he would make more business off of that shitty customer than he would his own sales. And he did that for years.
One of my old school favorite videos of his, like, literally said "paid for by haters," and it was literally like him just kind of showing like his trucks, his cars, just talking about all
his watches.
Yeah, I mean
this is all paid for by haters.
Yeah, and it was literally because he'd be like he'd get a shitty customer who would actually and here's the thing, John actually is he's a super reasonable dude. He's a super actually nice guy to reasonable people. And it's one of those things, if you have a legit reason you need something, like, he'll probably try to find a way to work with you, but he's not going to kiss your ass, and he's not going to respond well to you being shitty to him. And that's the bigger thing. Like, literally, and he even says this, he'll go on videos all the time, be like, look, you shouldn't be shitty to the one person that can actually give you what you want.
Yeah.
I mean, but people nowadays are so into this like Karen mode of fucking where they want to get crummy because they think they'll get their way, because a lot of companies do it. They give in when you get shitty.
As an inside joke, I had told JP that I wanted, because he gets material from Louis Vuitton. Not all the time. He gets
he has buyers that actually will buy old school Louis Vuitton. He loves those patterns to use and turn into gear.
And I told JP, because he was talking to him a lot, I said, tell him I want a Louis Vuitton and cash money print plate carrier.
I'm still trying to remember. Well, not plate carrier. You said right, because he does new plate carriers. Period.
Oh yeah, micro rig.
Yeah, micro rig.
And he asked him, and I happened to jump on the video that night, and he said, "No fucking chance in hell will I ever make that."
Well, to be fair, he said,
if I do, it's gonna be very expensive.
Yeah, though.
And I'm like, good enough reason.
If I remember right, he threw numbers out, and they were. I mean, they were probably
like
6,000. No, it was 100. No, he was in the thousands on that.
Oh yeah. Well, no, for the one that the way I asked,
because what he said. Well, here because the thing you asked for, what he said was, his exact words were, that would be a custom item that I would make myself and would get auctioned off, and it would probably go for fucking $6,000 to $10,000. Because here's how
one-off only item.
Because this is the thing, he has such a following. He literally has stuff where he will literally pick a random item, throw it on Facebook or somewhere, and just let people go, and they start naming off prices. All right,
we start the bid out at $10.
He doesn't even say start a bid. He literally throws it up and says, "Here it is," and people start shooting out prices, and he lets it go for.
But I always thought that was the funniest one, because he's just like, yeah, no fucking chance.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, he didn't say it wasn't entirely no chance. What he said is he said,
John, though, that meant no chance in hell.
He said, your boy's not going to be willing to pay what I would charge for that. Honestly, I'd end up auctioning it and making $10,000. I think he said something along those lines.
Which that one probably would. And that was just me being stupid, because I thought, well, hey, the big igloo, the boogaloo, like, I'll run around with a ski mask and a friggin' Louis Vuitton micro rig on. Why the hell not?
At that time, weren't you also talking about getting the woodland camo print Adidas tracksuit?
Who said that I still aren't getting it? I want my damn multicam Goatnik suit. Thank you. Come on, it's a multicam Adidas tracksuit.
I'd rock it.
Oh, I'd rock the shit out of it. With my multicam chest rig and my, well, as soon as I send my friend the money, my original Wazer 1063 AK-47.
The one that was already yours?
Yes, the one that was mine that I sold that now I'm buying back. Because, well, that's what you do when you want your gun back. Luckily, my friend was nice enough to agree to sell it for me. What else? So we did the Black Rifle Coffee thing. We did the ATF thing. Anything else you want to discuss, Stephen?
Yes, Stephen. You're
You're quiet, so I'm going to let you discuss.
To be fair, me and Zach talk a lot. We do that. So, but you need to come on, speak up, boy.
I'm kind of a quiet person. Like I told you, Zach, this is my first podcast, so I'm a little nervous.
You're doing
Oh,
fine. Just don't overthink it. Just tell some
you
stuff.
should have seen the first episode that we ever did. I think it took 6 takes just to get through the first 5 minutes
Shit.
because somebody kept. It wasn't. If it wasn't me, it was my other co-host who isn't on because he's got some family health issues. And then there's another person that used to come on, which he was supposed to be on, but he's not. He screwed it up to the point where um, it was we couldn't come up with a name for him. We didn't know how to introduce him. And like I do believe I called him the Asian sensation German persuasion at one point because he's into Euro and Japanese cars. And
I feel like I must have blocked that part out because I know I listened to all the early ones, and
it was hilarious.
I didn't show up to work and smack you, so I feel like.
Oh God, it was bad, and we just couldn't stop laughing. And then we did an episode. The one episode we edited out. Well, he edited it. My co-host edited out. I think like 4.5 minutes of me saying the F word. Like it's 4.5 minutes of its own track through a 2.5 hour episode that he took out me saying the F word. I was like, "Were we drinking?" He goes, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, thought so." Like but we were on a rant on something. I forget what it
And
was.
just so you know, for the record, since I've been uploading this stuff, I don't ever edit out the F words. To be fair, most of them are
that
probably
was
mine.
just that one episode because it was like every other word. I was making a 7-word sentence. You're saying the F word 10 times in a 7-word sentence.
Well, it's like when you think it's gonna be a good day, you show up to work and 5 minutes in, you're using "fuck" as a comma. You know.
Oh yeah.
It's my daily life.
I've seen some of your shooting pictures. You got a nice little setup, man. You got a nice little range to shoot and everything.
I've been lucky enough. I landed on 10.5 acres. I have 200 yards to shoot out to. I kind of built everything myself aside from targets. All of it has been just accumulating what I can here and there.
Now, what do you use as a backstop?
At the 100, I have a pretty heavy set of tires, like old used tires. And then at 200, there's a very dense tree line behind it. And then back behind everything past that is probably 400 or 500 yards worth of just timber.
Okay, that's awesome. Now the tires, did you do the tire wall thing where you kind of packed them with dirt, or is it just kind of tire stacked, or what was the?
I took T-posts, stacked them up, threw tires on there, and there's 6 in the back, 5, and then a row of 3. So
you kind of triangled it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's I'm just kind of curious because at my camp, that's one of the next things we're going to do is we're start clearing trees in the one section, and we want to put in about 100-yard range, but because of the direction we have to do it because the way our land is, it's going to be kind of going crossways into somewhat so I want like a legit backstop to where I know nothing's going off my property even. You know what I mean?
Yeah. At some point, I'd like to take and dig along my property line, build a big wall, do a whole 360, 180 degree as much as I can just to be able to shoot all around me.
That's kind of what eventually I'd like to get to. Eventually. You also have the Goon Wagon.
The Goon Wagon. That thing has been an adventure.
I've been kind of keeping up on that. Like it looks like it's been a little bit of a pain in the ass, but
yes, I got it for dirt cheap with everything, with the lift and tires, everything that's on it. Ended up throwing about $800 into the top end, redoing the head gasket, brand new head, having to throw a new radiator in it. It's just a typical Jeep Cherokee 4-liter. They have their issues, but that now that it's running good, it's a blast. It's definitely going to get some heavy use this summer, especially when I get cut outdoors. We can start shooting out of it and doing more stuff with some of the guys I shoot with and train with.
Good. But I seen pictures of it. I was like, I need something like that.
I was asking around. I was actually looking for a range car just to shoot in general, blow the windows out, shoot through, just to do vehicular drills. And a buddy of mine's like, well, I have this Jeep that runs and drives. It needs a little work. And I was like, all right, cool. And then I just fell in love with it. I was like, I'm not going to destroy this thing. I'm going to I'm gonna use it, and now I daily
Yeah.
drive it.
Honestly,
Nice.
Jeeps can be a fun one to mess with too. Like we had at one point a rotating little cast of Wranglers in the family that we were always tearing apart and like using like a few of them got Frankenstein together to build a good one type of stuff. And actually, Zach,
I had two when I was growing up. My dad had two Toyota pickup trucks, the old like 84, 85 Toyotas
Yeah.
that ran for God knows how long. Yeah, we had at one point we had one in the garage on jack stands that was there forever. I don't really know the actual amount of time that it sat in the garage. And then one that he drove to work. And then he got me one that had no motor and transmission in it that I was going to turn into a mud truck.
well, here's
And then we sold that one.
Here's an interesting crossover for you, Zach, with our similar backgrounds in schooling. And also being a Steelers fan. If you remember from the mid '90s, the original terrible Jeep, whenever they were doing the mid '90s Super Bowl run, that was all over the paper, like it was like very getting publicized all the time in Pittsburgh, and people were always sending in photos of the sightings of it. That was the first Franken Jeep. That was literally, my dad was that good of a painter and in the body, and we literally scrapped together two Jeeps and made, after we repainted it, that was the first the original terrible Jeep was a piece together of two Jeeps, and then a paint job we did in his garage.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, that's
so.
The shame of it was that the goal was we were going to have the team sign it and then re-clear it if they won, instead of what happened there against Dallas. Bad times, but whatever.
Give me 1 second. I'm replying to somebody. One of your friends there, Steven.
So now, what can you suggest as far as it sounds like you have a nice shooting range set up there, Steve? As far as do you have any like good tips for setting that stuff up for people, or anything you could say from that end?
I know a lot of guys like to run barricades or want to run a barricade, and instead of going out and like spending a bunch of money buying plywood trying to put one up, I found an old pallet, cut chunks out of it, cut sections, and I used that. Saved me money. And I mean, anything you can find to upcycle, recycle in general, you'll save yourself a ton of money that you can put towards ammo and things like that. There's no reason to go out and spend a bunch of money when I can make something.
That's very cheap. Cool, and that's actually one of the things that is planned for the camp now. Is I saw someone had it on, I don't know, some social media site, but taking the like giant wooden spools for like cabling or whatever.
Yeah. And the shooting tables.
Yep. A buddy of mine gets those because of the industry he's in. He gets them for dirt cheap all the time. So that's like one of the things. Like I love that idea. So like we're making a few of those next year. That's
save me a spool so I can do that, because a friend of mine just did one for somebody and it turned out awesome.
Yeah, I want to say he gets these spools for like $30 a piece. It's like stupid cheap for those giant wooden spools. Yeah.
Oh, like one of the things I'm working on right now is I got a bunch of the satellite dishes for TVs and whatnot. Those things make great 22 targets, especially for kids. And usually people buy it. Well, where I'm at, people will buy a house. They'll be in there, can't use them, so I just get them for free.
Like a direct TV dish. Yeah. I literally I have one of those sitting on my porch right now that I just took off my roof.
Yeah, they make great 22 long rifle targets.
I was thinking about making it into some sort of like repurposing as like an antenna of some kind, but now I might just do that. I might just go take it up the camp and shoot the damn thing.
Sitting out back. Yeah, I've seen your pallet set up, and it's cool to see you get your kiddo into shooting and stuff. I'm working on mine. He just turned. Well, he'll be turning 7 in January. His big issue is he's got real sensitive ears because he had tubes put in. Mm-hmm. So his big problem is the crack of the rifle and stuff like that. So the other day for an experiment, I threw him my Peltor TAC 100s. I said, "Here, put these on." I turned them on, and I stood there and just kept clapping as loud as I could next to him. And he just kind of looked at me and he's like, "Well, why does it do that?" I says, "It cancels it out." I says, "You think you could shoot with those on?" And he goes, "Oh yeah." So we'll see now that it's wintertime and with COVID and everything, we'll see what's going on. But I'm going to get him out more and get him out shooting. I mean, granted, he's only 6, but I've been teaching him firearm safety since he's been 4. He walks around with his little Nerf gun, finger all indexed.
I was going to say, like, the first time I was ever at your place, even, I remember you were showing off his trigger discipline and everything with his
Oh,
Nerf
yeah, the
guns.
kid's got amazing trigger discipline.
My son is the same way. He'll be playing with his little friends or something, and they'll have guns and toy guns or whatever, and he'll get on them and like coach them, like you need to keep your finger off the trigger. He's 7, almost 8.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
He's attached to anything that has to do with guns. He's attached to my hip for. He wants to learn. He wants to be in everything when it comes to firearms and shooting and hunting and just being outside.
See, I'm so looking forward to getting that chance with mine. Like my boy's not even 2
yet.
A
little bit yet.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. Like now to him, like literally, I think like dad's now another word for music though. Like I keep like that. I told you about that one guitar I just had rebuilt more or less. Had all the new electronics that on my old Mustang, and I keep that one in the living room right now. And he'll just walk over and point, and he'll be like, "Dad." And he's actually now he's gotten to the far. Like he's not even 2 yet, and he's starting to say guitar. But like literally, like he wants, like he'll literally just like I keep this one little practice amp that I've had since I was a kid in the living room, and like I'll plug that in, and it just like so like the him like that part to me has been so fun. Just so like I can't wait for the next step when I can like play with guns with him. And my wife's already like miserable about it because she's like, I thought I'd at least have till he was like 8 or 10 before you took over as the fun person, and like because of the guitar and music stuff, and like he's already daddy's. And I'm like, I told her, I was like, just so you know, he was always daddy's. It just like that was,
Well, gentlemen, we're getting close on to the second episode closing.
About 10 minutes.
It's also pushing 11 o'clock before Turkey Day. So I know most of us need to grab sleep before we go and smash a lot of food and beverages tomorrow. Well, at least I know that's what I'm doing.
I'm debating on if I'm going to make my chocolate mousse tonight or not.
Oh, shit. I just realized I got to be up early. I got to go somewhere in the morning. Oops. Oh, well. I got to go. Well, I'm going to have Thanksgiving brunch, I guess.
Yeah, that's cool.
With my mom and stepdad. Because normally we do my mom and stepdad's side or together Thanksgiving with my step family, nieces and nephews and my stepsisters and them. Normally the Sunday before, but with COVID and everything, we decided not to. So I've been around my mom and stepdad so much, I was like, well, screw it. I'll just go with you guys to breakfast. The wife is going to her dad's, and her family I'm trying to not be around because of my work and everything. So I was like, well, how about you go to your dad's and then just meet me at my dad's, which lives right across.
Now, is the boy going with you or Tanya?
And I'll just go to my dad's and we'll meet there. And then that way I can hang out with some of our friends that are in from out of town. And
now, is baby boy hanging out with you or Tanya?
He's going to hang out with Tanya, and then he'll be over with me.
Okay.
Supposedly, we lost audio on Facebook.
I have no idea. I can't. I couldn't even. The way the link was earlier, I just gave up and I just stopped messing with Facebook on it.
This whole thing. If you can't hear us again, folks, sorry. We'll fix it.
It'll be on YouTube and other places we put this when we have it. So there you go. Not that they can hear this right now either. Then, see, I think around 11 a.m. I'm throwing the turkey in the smoker. Although my plans half got ruined because I was mainly looking forward to getting to watch a Steelers game live, which has been moved to Sunday now when I'll be at work because of fucking COVID.
About that. So sorry if you're not into football. Even I'm not either. I just watch it to make the wife happy because she does. But I basically told her when this all started with the protests and everything, I was like, look, if we don't miss a game, like, I don't give a shit. Like, I really don't care. Everything went political in sports, and I really don't care. That's why I like
the Steelers have been better with that than most teams, though. Even though like, they've been political, they've also been pretty cool with the way they've handled it this year. Better than I was expecting.
I just like hockey because hockey you pay for two sports, boxing and hockey.
Exactly.
I mean, hockey's still will always be my number one. That's what I actually grew up like playing and all that stuff. But
hockey and baseball.
Guys, yeah, I'm gonna call it because otherwise our thing's gonna go.
It is getting late, and I don't want to have to like spend 4 days trying to upload this.
work with you. If it takes the recordings at an hour, it just screws it up. We're still working on that.
But
so
that's because of the way we have our stuff set up for the upload thing. It's just the file size.
So again, thank you, Stephen.
Yes, thank you for coming.
Where can everybody find you out
for having me
with
yes,
everything?
Yes, fire off your social media contact stuff.
Battle Daddy Tactical on Instagram, Battle Daddy Tactical on Facebook, and that's really it.
All right. Well, we'll definitely have you on more because we'll make sure that you're on to come and bullshit. And sorry for springing this up on you last moment. It's like,
hey, no problem.
Yeah, hey, guess what? We're doing one tonight. Come on. So next time I'll give you a little advance notice.
Right on. Sounds good, man.
All right. Well, thank you guys again for listening. Again, thank you, Stephen, for coming on.
Yes, thank you, Steve.
I'm Zack, the Tactical Gnome.
JP, the Armored Chef.
Daddy Brigade Podcast.
Out.